Welcome back to Cyberattack Sunday, and let me say what a week it has been. Today's coverage ranges from February 2nd to February 8th, 2025. Warning, it's a long rundown again, and if you ever want more details or if the video cuts off, you can reel it all for yourself on my SUBSTACK. Link in bio, use it. The Python Package Index, PyPI, has announced the introduction of Project Archival, a new system that allows publishers to archive their projects, indicating to the users that no updates are to be expected. Threat actors are taking advantage of the rise in popularity of the DeepSeek to promote two malicious InfoStealer packages on the Python Package Index, PyPI, where they impersonated developer tools for the AI platform. Microsoft kills off Defender privacy protection. VPN feature. Microsoft announced it is killing off its privacy protection VPN feature in the Microsoft Defender app at the end of the month to focus on other features. Elon Musk's Doge continues to take over American government offices in what many are calling an attack, as software engineers are purging federal databases under Project Remove DEI. TechCrunch interviewed the journalist targeted on WhatsApp by Paragon Spyware, Francesco Cancellato. You ask yourself, why me? This is the thing. What did they want from me? The PowerSchool breach remains a giant mystery, with endless questions. From what types of data were stolen, how many students or schools were affected, or who perpetrated the attack. DNS Filter announced the release of its 2025 annual security report, showcasing an uptick in malicious DNS requests from 2023 to 2024. Casio UK's eShop at casio.co.uk was hacked to include malicious scripts that stole credit card and customer information between January 14th and 24, 2025. The U.S. Justice Department has charged a Canadian man with stealing roughly $65 million after exploiting two decentralized finance DFI protocols. The February 2025 Android security updates patch 48 vulnerabilities, including a zero-day kernel vulnerability that has been exploited in the wild. Amazon has announced key security enhancements for Redshift, a popular data warehousing solution, to help prevent data exposures due to misconfigurations and insecure default settings. Food delivery company Grubhub disclosed a data breach impacting the personal information of an undisclosed number of customers, merchants, and drivers after attackers breached its systems using a service provider account. Israeli spyware maker Paragon Solutions confirmed to TechCrunch that it sells its products to the U.S. government and other unspecified allied countries. Researchers have linked the China-based Funnel Content Delivery Network, CDN, to a malicious practice they've dubbed infrastructure laundering, in which threat actors exploit mainstream hosting providers such as Amazon Web Services, AWS, and Microsoft Azure. Ransomware actors are offering individuals millions to turn on their employers and divulge private company information in a brand new cybercrime tactic. A 7-zip vulnerability allowing attackers to bypass the mark of the web, MOTW Windows security feature, was exploited by Russian hackers as a zero-day since September 2024. A 59-year-old man from Irvine, California, was sentenced to 87 months in prison for his involvement in an investor fraud ring that stole $50 million between 2012 and October 2020. Netgear has fixed two critical vulnerabilities affecting multiple Wi-Fi router models and urged customers to update their devices to the latest firmware as soon as possible. A Chinese hacking group is hijacking the SSH daemon on network appliances by injecting malware into the process for persistent access and covert operations. Android and iOS apps on the Google Play Store and Apple App Store contain a malicious software development kit, SDK, designed to steal cryptocurrency wallet recovery phrases using optical character recognition, OCR stealers. Zixel has issued a security advisory about actively exploited flaws in CPE series devices, warning that it has no plans to issue fixing patches and urging users to move to actively supported models. Taiwan on Wednesday, Mediterranean Saving Humans, an Italian nonprofit with the mission of rescuing immigrants who try to cross the Mediterranean Sea from Africa to Europe, said one of its founders was among the targets of a recent spyware campaign carried out against WhatsApp users. The Italian government said in a press release on Wednesday that a spyware campaign revealed by WhatsApp and carried out with spyware made by Paragon Solutions targeted people across several countries in Europe. A series of fake banking apps are making the rounds in India, mimicking trusted institutions to steal credentials and ultimately money. A phishing campaign is exploiting Microsoft Active Directory Federation Services, ADFS, to bypass multi-factor authentication, MFA, and take over user accounts, allowing threat actors to commit further malicious activities across networks that depend on the service for single sign-on, SSO authentication. The Spanish police have arrested a suspected hacker in Alicante for allegedly conducting 40 cyber attacks targeting critical public and private organizations, including the Guardia Civil, the Ministry of Defense, NATO, the U.S. Army, and various universities. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, has added 4 vulnerabilities to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, including Microsoft.NET and Apache OFBiz bugs. AMD has released mitigation and firmware updates to address a high-severity vulnerability that can be exploited to load malicious CPU microcode on unpatched devices. A help desk phishing campaign targets an organization's Microsoft Active Directory Federation Services, ADFS, using spoofed login pages to steal credentials and bypass multi-factor authentication, MFA, protections. CISA has ordered federal agencies to secure their systems within 3 weeks against a high-severity Linux kernel flaw actively exploited in attacks. The FCC has proposed a $4,192,500 fine against VoIP service provider Telnix for allegedly allowing customers to make robocalls posing as fictitious FCC fraud prevention team by failing to comply with Know Your Customer (KYC) rules. However, Telnix says the FCC is mistaken and denies the accusations. Microsoft has released a PowerShell script to help Windows users and admins update bootable media so it utilizes the new Windows UEFI CA 2023 certificate before the mitigations of the Black Lotus UEFI bootkit are enforced later this year. British-based engineering firm IMI plc has disclosed a security breach after unknown attackers hacked into the company's systems. The dramatic week continues at Paragon Solutions, a startup that sells access to surveillance technologies, including phone spyware, as it cut ties with the Italian government. More than 2 weeks after China's DeepSeek garnered worldwide attention with its low-cost AI model, threat actors have been busy capitalizing on the news by setting up phishing sites impersonating the company. Last November, an Idaho man was sentenced to 10 years in prison for hacking into the computer servers of 19 victims across the United States, stealing personally identifiable information, PII, belonging to more than 132,000 people, and attempting to extort a Florida orthodontist for payment in Bitcoin cryptocurrency. An ongoing distributed denial of service, DDoS attack targets Bohemia Interactive's infrastructure, preventing players of DayZ and Arma Reforger from playing the games online. Cisco has released patches to fix 2 critical vulnerabilities in its Identity Services Engine, ISE Security Policy Management Platform. Hackers are targeting vulnerable Simple Help RMM clients to create administrator accounts, drop backdoors, and potentially lay the groundwork for ransomware attacks. CISA warned U.S. federal agencies on Thursday to secure their systems against ongoing attacks targeting a critical Microsoft Outlook remote code execution, RCE vulnerability. The North Korean hacking group known as Kimsuki was observed in recent attacks using a custom-built RDP wrapper and proxy tools to directly access infected machines. Microsoft warns that attackers are deploying malware in view state code injection attacks using static ASP, net machine keys found online. Windows 11's January 28th optional update has fixed a long-standing issue in Windows 11 24H2 that prevents non-admin users from changing their time zone in date and time settings. Microsoft has shared a workaround for users affected by a known issue that blocks Windows security updates from deploying on some Windows 11 24H2 systems. An update in PowerSchool data breach, as the U.S. edtech giant has confirmed that 16,000 students in the United Kingdom had personal and sensitive data stolen during the December 2024 data breach. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise has begun notifying individuals whose personal information was stolen during a 2023 cyberattack, which the company blamed on Russian government hackers. An attempt to block a phishing URL in Cloudflare's R2 object storage platform backfired yesterday, triggering a widespread outage that brought down multiple services for nearly an hour. Hospital Sisters Health System notified over 882,000 patients that an August 2023 cyberattack led to a data breach that exposed their personal and health information. Software vendor Trimble is warning that hackers are exploiting a CityWorks deserialization vulnerability to remotely execute commands on IIS servers and deploy Cobalt Strike beacons for initial network access. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, HPE, is notifying employees whose data was stolen from the company's Office 365 email environment by Russian state-sponsored hackers in a May 2023 cyberattack. A large-scale brute force password attack using almost 2.8 million IP addresses is underway, attempting to guess the credentials for a wide range of networking devices, including those from Palo Alto Networks, Ivanti, and SonicWall. Dang, just under 10 minutes. Well, I did warn you guys. See you next week.